Hi, I'm Mahesh.
Hi, I'm Scott. This is my Mercedes SLK 350 convertible.
Today we'll take a detailed look at the car, find out Scott's top 3 likes and dislikes, and discover if he recommends you buy, consider, or skip this car. Let's go for a spin. The Mercedes SLK was first launched in 1996. The second generation was released in 2004, and this, the third generation, was launched in 2011. So it's quite a few years into its product cycle, and there's no news as to if and when a new release of the car will be launched. The car was also rebranded as a SLC in 2017. So Scott, how did you end up with this car?
I had been driving TT convertibles for a number of years, and in 2013 I realized that the TT convertible was not really being upgraded at all. It was the exact same car I'd been driving, and when the lease was up, that was the car I'd be driving once again. And so I went about my process of looking at the Honda S2000, the Porsche Boxster, various other convertibles that were available. And this is the car that looked to be the best selection and choice at the time.
So you definitely know your way around the convertible market. Well, here is a detailed look at the car. With the long nose and clean, slick road-hugging lines, this is a beautifully designed car. This is one of the few convertibles in the market with a hardtop roof. Yes, the emblem is missing up front, but more about that later. Compact proportions make this an easy-to-maneuver car. The cabin is a mix of luxury and sporty touches. However, with this generation being launched in 2011, the interior is now beginning to look a little dated. The infotainment screen is small and is used through a controller. The instrument cluster is accentuated with nice protruding dial surrounds. The bolstered seats are finished in leather and feature a built-in neck heater. Retro air vents add a nice touch. Even with the roof closed, you can let in the sun through a panoramic moonroof. To match the sporty looks, the power plant is a powerful 3.5-liter V6 producing 302 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Notably, there is no manual transmission offered, only a 7-speed automatic. Tech included in the SLK 350 is a little disappointing, with the standard features being heated seats, keyless entry, and a Harman Kardon sound system. Extra packages include bi-xenon lights, navigation, CD player, lane keep assist, and blind spot monitoring. Drive modes include Eco, Comfort, and Sport. All right, Scott, and now on to your top 3 likes.
This is going to sound generic, but the one thing I like most about this car is that it is a convertible, and that I get to put the top down or up any time I want, any day of the week I want. And the weather we have in San Francisco really is conducive to having that option on any given day. Yeah, for sure.
And if it gets cold, it's got those cool neck heaters too.
Yeah, the heating system's great.
And then what's your second like?
I do get a lot of compliments on this car. People really say, hey, do you mind if I borrow your car? You know, strangers are walking across the street, always pointing and saying nice things. So there's always that little ego boost I get probably on a weekly basis, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. It's got that very cool Mercedes convertible vibe to it.
Yeah.
All right. And then third?
And the third, and I guess final like, I think is the sound system's really good. You know, I listen to Spotify on a regular basis, and it just comes through really, really clear and crisp. And, you know, I'm going to out myself here, but Taylor Swift does sound really good in this car.
I can see you driving down Highway 1 top down listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's what we do.
All right, and then your top 3 dislikes.
So I think one of the things I noticed from the very beginning was the storage space, whether it's the glove compartment or the side compartments, whether it's you know, a pen, a pad,
Yeah.
you know, nicks and knacks that you want to be able to get to. There's not a whole lot of storage at all in the car. I think that's probably one of the ones that's a disappointment.
Got it.
Another
Okay.
big one, I think that's even more disappointing. This is a 2016 automobile. There is no beeping light for going in reverse or backing up.
Yeah.
And there's no camera for that as well. So you're just going back in blind.
Yeah, well, you know, it is a 2016, but even for that time, you would expect those aids to be there. Now, I did do some research, and if you're looking at a 2018, it does have a backup camera, and it does have beeping sensors. And then how about your third?
So I think the other thing that's been pretty disappointing for quite some time as well is I tried to get out of the last lease, and there's this like $1,500 kind of, we're going to stick you with this charge if you want to give it back to us.
Yeah.
You've got a restocking fee. It just didn't seem consumer or client centric at all.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I experienced with Audi for the number of years I was with those guys.
You're trapped in the lease.
Big time.
They'll do anything they can to keep you with the brand.
That's exactly right.
All right. Okay. Now, before we get to the highlights, other highlights, let's talk about the missing emblem up front. What's the story with that?
Well, I wish I could tell you that's the first time it's ever happened. It's actually the third time in the length of the lease. It's really sensitive. It's made of plastic.
Yeah.
Anytime someone backs into me or in a parking lot or a parking structure or anything like that, it pops off.
Yeah.
And so the first time it happened, it was only like $180 to fix. This most recent time, they want over $900 to fix it. And I've got some kind of package with dents and so forth, up to $5,000 in damage. They get to absorb that in the lease. And so I'm not going to fix it. The lease is up in 8 months, and I'm just going to let them, take care of it.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that definitely does seem like a design flaw. I mean, it seems like your emblem is acting like your bumper for the car.
Right.
All right. Well, here are a few highlights from the rest of our chat. Before we get to Scott's recommendation, here's a little bit about this show. We don't pay the drivers on this show for their opinions. Instead, to thank them, we make a donation to a nonprofit charity of their choice. You can thank them by clicking on the like button below. All right, Scott, and now for your recommendation. Would you recommend you buy, consider, or skip this car?
For me, I think I'm all set with my Mercedes experience. I'm going to be skipping this car going forward. I'm looking forward to maybe an electric car or maybe going back to the Audi TT.
All right. Well, there you have Scott's recommendation. Other SLK, SLC owners, let us know your likes, dislikes, and recommendation in the comments below. Subscribe and see you soon.